Hello, welcome to the world famous and occasionally controversial Mississippi-Pennsylvanian boundary. This is pretty far north in the Appalachian Basin from where I'm used to working. We're in southern West Virginia. We have maybe 4,000 feet of Pottsville Formation and another 3,000 or 4,000 feet of upper Mississippian Malchunk group. It's a lot thinner here, and the question always is, where's the boundary? And what is the age and how much time are we missing? As a macrofloral paleobotanist, I've done extensive work collecting plant fossils all over the Appalachian Basin, Mississippian and Pennsylvanian, and I've been able to kind of place myself in various places on the as the floras change, and it's interesting. So, where would I put the boundary? When you look at this, it's a fairly nondescript outcrop. So we have sandstone, we have some thinner sandstone, thin-bedded ripples, and then you notice everything is light gray, kind of medium gray. It's got organic rich, and I come down here and all of a sudden I'm starting to see a greenish tinge to the rocks. And after 40 years of playing with this part of the section, to me, from here down, that's the Mississippian unit. Whereas from here up, that's Pennsylvanian. So my take is we'll put the boundary right here. You can jump up and down and say, oh, we hate it, but we have red beds 10 feet below us. So, you know, if you don't like this position, you can go 10 feet lower and there's no argument. I have no paleo to tell me it's right here. It's just experience of looking at these rocks for many years. So, not all that impressive, but I would have to guess we're somewhere in a plus or minus 5 million years gap right here. Problem is with the Malchunk, in this part of the world, we've lost all the marine units that are in the Malchunk further south, and we're really not sure where all these red beds fit into the well-developed section to the south. They just don't have any fossils. My guess, based on the rocks, and we'll have a quick stop, I think, in the Malchunk later, is to me it looks like we're in the Hinton or the middle part of the Malchunk further south. But that's open for discussion. So there's not a whole lot to see here. Characteristics of the Pennsylvania sandstone has a lot of organics, a lot of plant debris. You see we have quartz pebble lags in places, characteristic of this part of the Pottsville Formation. And then clearly we have a larger incised channel surface right there. So you can see there's a lot of colified plant fragments in the Pennsylvanian part of the section. One of the reasons why I think we're definitely a Pennsylvanian. Right down here you can actually see a fairly thick colified log right here. Looks like a little stringers of coal. If you ever look at driller's logs, they would call these coal spars. Hi guys, we're in the we're about 10-15 meters below the Miss Penn boundary, and paleosol developed in the Malchunk. This will be called a paleovertisol. Has vertic structures. We'll get a close-up of it quickly. These are also called pseudo-anticlines. These are primary soil structures that developed in fairly semi-arid climates. In the shadow, here's a polished surface of one of these gilgai structures, or pseudo-anticlines, that are formed from wetting and drying cycles. So the clay mineral is expanding and contracting, and actually sometimes the top of the soil will have huge mud cracks on it. And when you see the top of these soils, these are polygonal mud cracks, because often there's a swelly surface that'll form with ephemeral lakes on top. And occasionally, if you're really lucky, based on some of these, there'll be a little dark gray AO horizon that we have occasionally found some small bones in it, but you got to be really lucky. Usually that part's been eroded away later. And there are some calcareous soil nodules or PEDs in here. And you can see at the very top, if you look along the outcrop, you see the red goes up into a kind of light greenish color. That would be a burial clay. That's the top of the paleosol that was reduced when it was buried.